Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, the UWP recommendations on the anti-terrorism bill will be ready for the July 15 deadline. Local medical doctor suggests scientific research on cannabis as he addresses the private sector. And the body of a man discovered in the Makushu area Thursday morning has been identified. The details of the news coming up.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fence pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
First up in the news, police continue to investigate a tragic road accident in St. Joseph on Wednesday, which claimed the life of 43-year-old Sam Thomas of the same community. Apparently, Thomas was the conductor aboard the dump truck, which was loaded with cement when the accident occurred.
The Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force is investigating a fatal road traffic collision which occurred on Wednesday, 11th July 2018 at 4:20 p.m. in the district of St. Joseph. Deceased is Sam Thomas, male, 42 years, of St. Joseph. The incident involved a dump truck, registration number TJ230, driven by Davidson Revere, male, 52 years, of St. Joseph, and accompanied by the conductor, Sam Thomas. According to the driver, Davidson Revere, the truck was laden with bags of Portland cement, with Sam Thomas sitting on top of the bags in the box at the rear of the truck. The vehicle was traveling in a northerly direction up a hill on the road leading to the Hillsborough Garden Housing Scheme when it lost power, went out of control, and overturned on the road, trapping Sam Thomas between the truck and the soil embankment along the road. The driver did not sustain any visible injuries, as reported by medical personnel on the scene. The body of Sam Thomas was pronounced dead by the district medical doctor and transported to the Gentle Rest Funeral Home.
In more police news, the lifeless body of a male individual was found at Makushri Thursday morning. Police said the body, which was in an advanced state of decomposition, was discovered about 10 in the morning close to the broken bridge. It was later identified by Stephen Isidore as that of David Isidore. He was reported missing at the St. Joseph police station on the 4th of July. Searches by police were unsuccessful. In more news now, leader of the parliamentary opposition, Lennox Linton, says his party is preparing to submit his recommendations to the Attorney General on an anti-terrorism bill in time for the July 15 deadline.
Opposition leader Lennox Linton told Channel 5 News the UWP has consulted with both lawyers and civil society before its submissions. He says there needs to be a clearer definition of terrorism in the Act.
There's no specific definition of terrorism in this act except that we learn what the framers or the crafters of the legislation have in mind when we read the offense that constitutes a terrorist act. We believe that people who have already told us and who have gone public again and again with comments suggesting that the legitimate acts of dissent and political activity in Dominica carried out by the United Workers' Party have been referred to as terrorism, economic terrorism, political terrorism. That, for us, has telegraphed the way that the government operatives and the members of the government would like to treat with us on this issue of terrorism.
The opposition's problem is with Part 2, Section 3.1 of the Act that speaks to offences. Such offence is defined as an act which causes or is likely to cause loss of human life or serious bodily harm, damage to property, endangers a person's life, creates a serious risk to the health or safety of the public, or prejudice to national security. The offences also address disruption in the provision of emergency services and other services such as banking and public utilities, and disruptions in any computer or electronic system. One can be held liable if one threatens to commit an act referred to in this part. Linton describes this definition of a terrorist act as broad sweeping, making it possible for a terrorist act not to involve any violence and be considered as a simple protest.
And it is very possible that acts that are normal acts of dissent, whether they come from political parties or religious organizations or trade unions, could be classified as terrorist acts with all sorts of implications for terrorist property and other things, financing of terrorism and so on. So we believe that is one section of the act that needs to be amended so that the definition is tightened to bring back terrorism into the fold of violent, unlawful activity that causes mass destruction, killing of people, kidnapping, hijacking, that sort of thing. We had that sort of definition of terrorism before. We have moved away from it.
Linton says while he understands the proposed legislation is harmonized, it must not be used to target expressions of democracy.
So we have been having conversations with our lawyers. We have been talking with stakeholders in civil society. And we will be meeting over the next few days, hopefully to craft what we believe are necessary amendments that should be made to the bill when it goes back to the Parliament or before it goes back to the Parliament. We don't know when that is. The Attorney General has said he would like to have the responses or the comments of the general public and whoever is interested in giving him feedback or the government feedback by the 15th. The 15th is Sunday, so we presume he means Monday, and we are putting ourselves in a position to be able to respond by that time.
Stakeholders in the coconut industry are now better equipped on how to move the industry forward.
This was the aim of a one-day workshop on Wednesday organized by the Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute, CARDI. The seminar focused on pest issues involving coconut production, trade risk mitigation, environmental risk mitigation, and other aspects of risks associated with the coconut value chain. CARDI representative in Dominica, Dorian Etienne, says now is the opportune time for Dominica's coconut sector to grow back better and stronger from the ravages of Hurricane Maria.
We are at the stage where the coconut sector is poised to start re-establishments of groves, and the whole production cycle in coconuts is poised for taking off. Now, building the capacity now is timely because we would be starting those things, those areas, with the knowledge of what needs to be done, and so we would not wait to see the problems and try to address it.
According to a recent survey conducted by CARDI, Dominica is well positioned to take advantage of an increasing demand for the coconut product.
We've had growing demand for planting material of coconuts. In fact, one aspect of the project was the establishment of a pilot nursery, to provide planting material to persons who had an interest in establishing small holdings. The demand for the planting material was high. There's also a growing demand for water nuts, for dry nuts, for oil production. And it's not just locally, but also regionally as well. And that confirms the study that was done.
This workshop formed a part of a 4-year project to develop the coconut industry in the region. The project was funded by the EU and ends this year. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
And the United States William J. Parish Center for Hemispheric Defense Studies has just wrapped up a 2-day humanitarian assistance and disaster response seminar in Barbados. It was done jointly with U.S. Southern Command and the Caribbean Disaster and Emergency Management Agency, CDEMA. The seminar, which wrapped up on Wednesday, was held under the theme Bolstering Disaster Preparedness in the Caribbean. It brought together participants from 18 Caribbean and South American countries, as well as British, Canadian, Dutch and French partners. The seminar provided an opportunity to consolidate lessons learned from the 2017 hurricane season and to prepare Caribbean partner nations and U.S. humanitarian assistance forces for the 2018 hurricane season. During the seminar, panels and roundtable discussions, participants gained an understanding of partner nation procedures and capacities and gaps in humanitarian assistance and disaster response efforts. The forum also provided an opportunity to strengthen regional coordination for mitigation, management and coordinated response to natural disasters. Last year's hurricane season highlighted the need for an international approach to disaster preparedness and response. This seminar served to further forge and strengthen relations that will ultimately help achieve this approach that will be critical to future response efforts. You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, could marijuana encourage the young people to get back into agriculture? We'll meet one man who thinks so. That and more when the news continues.
There are signs everywhere. Pay attention whether you're male or female. Visit your health center to get screened. It's a preliminary test to determine if you are exposed to the HIV virus, an STI, or tuberculosis. Some people who are HIV positive also have tuberculosis. But there's hope. Tuberculosis can be cured. And yes, you can live a full life with HIV. Talk to your doctor. Be responsible. Help stop the spread of TB, HIV. Encourage everyone to get tested.
Thank you for staying with us. Medical Dr. Irvin Pascal told a private sector audience that opportunities to use marijuana here can include scientific research of the plant at Ross University School of Medicine. He presented at the DAIC's opening session of its AGM, which focused on the theme "A Look Ahead, Opportunities and Challenges of Legalizing Cannabis in Dominica."
Research is an interesting thing, and if you think about the research, we seem to be in a little bit, we don't know what's happening for us, or we don't seem to know what's happening for us. And if you have a $140 billion global cannabis industry, and most of that is going to be medicinal, why not? Why not offer us to get involved in that and complement its training of medical doctors with that type of activity, because it's all about the money. And maybe that could be one way we could secure us going back to Dominica. We need to move and move quickly.
Dr. Pascal suggests allowing the cultivation of the plant can complement the research aspect.
If we adopted cannabis as maybe a significant aspect, or the planting of cannabis or the growing of cannabis as a significant aspect of our agricultural economy, we will be forced to have a more modern, structured, updated, planned and research approach. Post-Maria, we haven't heard much. We haven't heard any earth-shattering visions as to how we're going to invigorate our agriculture. There's no way you could treat cannabis as an agricultural product for economic reasons without addressing our land use issues in Dominica, where you plant it, who plants it, what acreages, etc., what soils, because that will be the necessary work that's required.
He also thinks growing of cannabis would be a solution to getting more young people involved in agriculture.
It would be one way to really attract young people to own something and maybe, be at the vanguard and the creativity of change in Dominica. I think I have no doubt in my mind that that would be a significant aspect of attracting young people to agriculture, but we would have to treat it in a productive and what I would call competent way. The global cannabis economy is going to rise by 1,000%. There's no reason that Dominica shouldn't see some part of that income.
MP for Rosa Central and Government Minister Joseph Isaac was among the officials attending Wednesday's AGM. And the Parish of Our Lady of Fairhaven is hoping to raise a significant sum of money to continue its outreach work. The Parish of Our Lady of Fairhaven is hoping to raise a significant sum of money to continue its outreach work. The Parish of Our Lady of Fairhaven is hoping to raise a significant sum of money to continue its outreach work. The Parish of Our Lady of Fairhaven is hoping to raise a significant sum of money to continue its outreach work. The Parish of Our Lady of Fairhaven is hoping to raise a significant sum of money to continue its outreach work. The Parish of Our Lady of Fairhaven is hoping to raise a significant sum of money to continue its outreach work. The Parish of Our Lady of Fairhaven is hoping to raise a significant sum of money to continue its outreach work. The Parish of Our Lady of Fairhaven is hoping to raise a significant sum of money to continue its outreach work. The Parish of Our Lady of Fairhaven is hoping to raise a significant sum of money to continue its outreach
That's among the aims of the Parish Feast, which will see a series of activities being held from August 12th to 19th. Chairman of the Joint Committee of the Parish, Val Coffey, while not disclosing the target amount of money needed, says the funds will be used for numerous church projects.
Besides the connection that we want to forge for our faithful, it's an opportunity for us as Catholics to give back. And we're hoping that the support and the contributions will be enormous so that the work of the church could continue. You cannot put a figure as it relates to the work of the church because it's very expensive and expensive. And besides the cathedral parish cathedral here, you have Trafalgar, you have Loda, you have Watton Raven, Cochrane.
No,
Morne Prosper. So we have all these areas that have to be taken care of.
Outside of raising money from parishioners and friends, the activities this year will also see a few new features, one of which is a forum where attendees can learn more about building back better post-Hurricane Maria.
What we plan to introduce is an opportunity for our Catholic friends to come to the fair to have discussions with insurance companies to discuss ways and means to understand your insurance protection during storms, hurricanes, earthquakes as it relates to your property, because we are aware that many persons after Hurricane Maria suffered even greater losses as a result of their insurance claims. So we are providing a platform where you can come and have that discussion. ODM as well will be with us. We invited them in terms of talk about hurricane preparedness. So we really want to give the Cathedral Parish person opportunity to really get ready and to support each other.
Coffey says the health of the people is also of concern to the church, and there will be a specific activity geared towards the well-being of the public.
And then we also be working with one of the health institutions to provide some direction in terms of understanding your health care, because at the end of the day, you are human, we all human. We have to eat well, we have to sleep well, we have to take our vitamins, we have to say our prayers, and we all know about the situation that relates to blood pressure in Dominica, as it relates to high blood sugar, cancers and stuff like that. So we are going to try and as church to provide that opportunity to persons to understand themselves.
Activities for the Feast of the Lady of Fairhaven include the Feast Mass, a parish fair, concert and community breakfast. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
And finally, construction on the Morocco Hotel began in 2011 and was projected to be completed by 2013. There have been challenges including setbacks such as Hurricane Maria, but the project is back on track. These are some of the pictures provided to Channel 5 News, giving us a glimpse of what it looks like on the inside while finishing touches continue on the outside. We thought you might be among those who would welcome a peek inside. The project has faced some challenges. As far as we are aware, 16 local and 14 Moroccans have been employed on the project. The final product is expected to be climate resilient, particularly since Hurricane Maria. We've been told the furnishings will come from Morocco. 40 individuals from Portsmouth were expected to be trained for employment when the hotel comes on stream. To end the news, a look again at the headlines. UWP recommendations on the anti-terrorism bill will be ready for the July 15 deadline. Local medical doctors suggest scientific research on cannabis as he addresses the private sector. And the body of a man discovered in the Makushri area on Thursday morning has been identified. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Do join us tomorrow.